is the 24th of February. We have 8 games. One is still going. I'm assuming the Hornets are going to lose, but it's the Sacramento Kings. You never know. So we'll cover the first 7 games, whatever has been played of the 8th game. Some interesting performances tonight, some weird streaming appeal. Sort of an update on Joel Embiid. We'll give you all the latest. This is the Monday post-game show. Let's go balls deep.
I'm the type to get shit done. You the type to observe. March Madness on my speakers, but today's November 23rd. Got something loud in the blunt, yeah. I don't say what I want, yeah. Probably somewhere sunny getting tan. Foreign women in the sun, yeah. That's all that I need. That's all that I need. That's all that I need. Got my brothers with me. Got my brothers with me and my mama's healthy.
Welcome to the Balls Deep podcast brought to you by Fantasy Basketball International. I'm Adam King. Find me on Twitter and Blue Sky at AdamKing91. Find us on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere and everywhere you consume your fantasy basketball content. We are also part of the Old Man Squad at Old Man Squad on Twitter. Now we have 8 games. Joel Embiid ruled out for tonight. Obviously didn't play. We'll talk about it in the Sixers. It is trending towards him potentially being done for the season. Nick Nurse made a point of coming out and saying that is not the case as of yet. But given tonight's performance, it certainly seems like the right decision. We'll get into what that performance looked like very shortly. Let's start with the first game of the night, though. The Brooklyn Nets headed into Washington and came up short in terms of the result, but a loss is a good thing for Brooklyn. Win is probably a bad thing for Washington. For the Nets, Nick Claxton, a little bit quiet compared to what he's been doing. 8 and 5, 2 steals and a block, 31 minutes. So still playing reasonably well considering the trajectory and the risk and all that sort of thing. Zion Williams had 19 and 5 with 3 steals, so he was our streamer tonight, along with Tyrese Martin, who had 15 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals. We know the situation here. Claxton, we roster. Cam Johnson, we roster. Everyone else, take a flyer. Tonight it was Zion Williams. Keon Johnson also had 4 steals with his 9 points. He is the other guy. I've talked about him as being potentially someone we can hold. Killian Hayes started, 8 assists, 2 steals and a block. He's sort of in the Isaiah Collier bucket, I suppose, not to the same level as Collier usually. We'll talk about Collier a little bit later. But if Hayes is going to start, who knows what they're doing with D'Angelo Russell. Hayes is worth a look if you need assists and steals. Trendon Watford has been playing relatively well, 11, 7 and 3. 23 minutes, though, again, not really enough. And Day'Ron Sharpe, he had 7, 6 and 2 in his 17 minutes. I still think he's a stash, but it's getting hard. If you're in a position where you need more production at the moment, then there's no indication that a shutdown or anything is coming for Claxton. So maybe we do need to just move on from Sharpe in some situations. For Washington, Chris Middleton, Marcus Smart both returned. Neither did much. Don't need to roster them. Koulibaly, we talked about him. I feel like we talk about him on every second show. 20 points, a steal. His shooting is really up and down, which makes his value hard to project. He is pretty borderline. I've said Jordan Poole is probably the only guy I trust at this point. Alex Sarr, when he's healthy, I trust, but I don't know. When's he going to be healthy? If you're holding Sarr, you probably keep holding, I guess. But is his upside high enough? You could probably argue that no is the answer to that question. Rashawn Holmes had 11, 6 and 4 with 3 blocks and a steal in 30 minutes. As long as Sarr is out, I think Holmes is a nice pickup. Not the player he once was, but if we remember back Look, it's probably 5 years ago, to be honest. Holmes was a really nice fantasy player. So he has the floor there to be able to be valuable, and we're seeing that at the moment. And then, Bub Carrington. Keyshawn George had the defensive stats here, 3 steals, 3 blocks. He's probably... look, if I had to pick between him and Koulibaly, I'd probably go Koulibaly slightly, but both of them are okay. But beyond that, not really interested in anyone on this Washington team. Okay, Chicago at Philadelphia. The Bulls, comfortable wins. What was 142 to 110. Lonzo played 8 minutes. He left with a head injury, more of a laceration by the looks of things. So I don't think it's anything that will cause him to miss time. But we don't need to be rostering him anyway at this point. With him out, Kobe White came off the bench. This was due to a finger injury, and I just don't think he was quite ready to go. So I wouldn't expect to see him coming off the bench as a permanent thing. If Lonzo Ball misses time, which, again, I don't think he will, and Dosunmu continues to miss time, Kevin Huerter, 23 points, 2 steals. We know he can go on these little runs where he'll give you points and threes. Maybe, there's zero pressure on him, so maybe he's just going to go out there and fire up some shots. He's okay as a speculative pickup, I think. Josh Giddey playing very well. Zach Collins filled in for Nikola Vucevic, who was probable and then downgraded to out. Jalen Smith is also out with a concussion, so we got 28 minutes of Zach Collins. Hopefully you managed to stream him in. 19 points, 5 rebounds, a steal and a block with a 3 and 6 of 6 from the line. Plus 41. So, look, I don't think Vooch is going to miss time here. But if he does, give Collins a look. Dalen Terry had 17 points off the bench. I'm not really buying into this. They were against arguably the worst team in the league at the moment. So, make of it what you will. Buzelis, 36 minutes, 17 points, a block. Not fantastic, but the minutes, very encouraging. I'll click on the right screen, Adam. For Philly, Yabusele started, so Embiid was ruled out, as expected. Yabusele played 13 minutes before he was forced from the game. So if you streamed him in or picked him up, that's a bit of a blow to your team. He didn't score. Oubre, fine. Paul George, fine. Tyrese Maxey, he didn't look great tonight. He is dealing with a finger injury. Whether that played a factor here, I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised if he misses a game or two over the next week. Just keep an eye on that. Quentin Grimes also left the game early here with a knee. I think it was just knee soreness. Look, they were getting flogged. There was no point keeping him in there, so I would hold him. And look, because of the limited minutes, because of the injuries, we got a lot of Lonnie Walker, Ricky Council, Adem Bona. I'm not really looking at any of them. If Yabusele misses time, though, Bona, maybe. Drummond, maybe. I think they're both going to at least pop up on the streaming radar. Denver at Indiana. Nuggets get the win in this one, 125 to 116. Jokic had 18 and 19 with 9 rebounds. I think I saw in our box score, he had 10 rebounds. I don't know. Anyway, he played well. 4 steals as well with a block. Aaron Gordon had 25 points. He's playing really well at the moment, so just add him. It's not sustainable, but while he's playing like this, you have to. Christian Brown had 17 and 8 with a steal. Jamal Murray, 16 and 6. Russell Westbrook, 23 minutes, 7 points, 5 assists. Don't need to be holding him or Julian Strouthar. Zeke Nagy saw a few extra minutes here, but I'm not really looking at him as a viable option either. For the Pacers, Halliburton, 15 assists, 3 steals, 19 points. Good night for him. Nembhard. Look, I think we're okay to move on from Nemhard. We're okay to move on from Benedict Mather, and Aaron Neesmith is starting to play much better. Not unlike he was playing last season. He was a must-roster player for a significant stretch of last season, and we're sort of getting to that point again. We had no TJ McConnell, who was out with an ankle, I think. So, yeah, we got a little bit more of Ben Shepherd, but he would need about 84 minutes, I think, to be a consideration. Obi Toppin had 11 points in his 17 minutes. He is nothing but a streamer. All right, Clippers fall to the Pistons, 106.97 for the Clippers. No Kawhi Leonard. So we talked about this on yesterday's post-game show, that it was a new injury for him, not the knee. So something to monitor moving forward. We also had no Norm Powell. So Nick Batum got the start. Bogdan got the start. Derek Jones moved back to the bench. Look, they're not playing too well at the moment, the Clippers. So I think they're just trying to shuffle things around and get some wins on the board. We had no Ben Simmons as well. It was the second night of a back-to-back. So what do we take away from this? Not a lot. Chris Dunn, I think, look, he's still, if I had to put a label on him, I'd still label him as a specialist. He got another 5 steals in this one. He's playing a bit more, but there's no Norm Powell, no Ben Simmons, no Kawhi Leonard. So that's like, what, 90 minutes that has to fit in there somewhere. So I don't think Chris Dunn is going to be a 35-minute-a-night player. He's fine to roster at the moment, fine to hold if you need steals, but we are probably looking at a high point or a sell high. Don't think anyone's buying Chris Dunn, though, so probably not an easy move to make. Bogdanovic, the minutes are nice, 13 points, 5 assists. Again, once all these guys come back, we don't need to roster him. Or Amir Coffey, or Derek Jones. They're fine while the injuries are happening. For the Pistons, another strong night for Jalen Duren, 12 points, 19 rebounds, a steal and a block. Cade had 32, 9 and 7. The turnovers are high, 7 of those, but you take that when you have someone like Cade Cunningham on your team. Asar Thompson had 10, 3 and 3 with 4 steals and 2 blocks in 27 minutes. He has to be rostered. Tobias Harris, 20 points again. He's not doing much outside of scoring, but the points are nice. Tim Hardaway, Malik Beasley, both of those are... well, Hardaway is definitely a 3-point streamer. Beasley is getting down into that range. Only 24 minutes in this one. They have Schroeder now, who is another guard option for them. So I think Beasley... I'd still much rather him over Hardaway, but it's been a little bit hit or miss the last couple of weeks, so he's probably in that streaming discussion now. All right, Miami fall to the Hawks, 100. They didn't even hit 100. 98-86, very unusual for the Hawks. For the Heat, Khalil Ware played 24 minutes, 8 and 15 with a block. Didn't really play down the stretch in this one. He's fine to roster. The minutes have been very up and down. Tyler Hero off, what did he have last night? 40 or something. He had 11 points in this one on 4 of 19 shooting. Dyson Daniels was on him. Is that all we need to say? Maybe. Davion Mitchell, don't roster him. Kyle Anderson's playing probably more than they actually want him to play, but Harkes looks bad. Highsmith is out of the rotation. I mean, they're rolling out Alec Burks. So Miami are in a bit of trouble here, I think. For the Hawks, it was a good win. They take any win they can get at this point. Kongwu had 17 and 8 with 2 steals in his 29 minutes. Trae Young shot the ball poorly, 4 of 14 from the field, but he had 11 points, 14 assists. So those assist numbers always make his stat line look a little bit better. Risache, who we talked about yesterday, had been playing well, been playing better. 2 points in this one. And this is, again, why I don't think you have to roster him, because when the shot is not falling, he just doesn't have a very safe or consistent fantasy floor. Unlike Dyson Daniels, who had only 10 points, but 11 rebounds, 7 steals. Yeah, don't need to talk about Dyson, do I? My thoughts are pretty clear. Levert had 15, 4 and 2. George Niang had 11 and 5. Terrence Mann, his best game as a Hawk, he had 15 points. All three of those guys, along with Clint Capella, are just, I think they're nice streaming considerations, but not players that we have to roster. All right, Timberwolves going to OKC and get the win. Shouldn't have got the win, but they did in overtime, 131-28. Thunder were up by about 20 midway through the final quarter and then just forgot how to shoot. I roughly or very quickly went back through the stats because I watched the end of this game. And I think they went one of their last 16 three-pointers. Come on, guys. Anytime they attack the basket, they look pretty good. Caruso got a layup. Shea got some points. But continue to shoot threes, and if they don't fall, you kick yourself in the ass. And yeah, Thunder, it's not going to come back to bite them. They're sitting at the top of the standings, but yeah, it's not great when you've got a 20-point lead against a Timberwolves team that doesn't have Julius Randle or Rudy Gobert. So for the Wolves, Anthony Edwards, he left the game briefly with a calf injury. He did play down the stretch, but he was limping after the game. So just something to keep an eye on there if you have Anthony Edwards on your fantasy roster. Conley did nothing again. God, this guy's washed. Alexander Walker had 21 points. Keep streaming him until DiVincenzo is back. Look, they went with a lot of Terrence Shannon in this one, a lot of Jalen Clark. Shannon, look, he was honestly, you could consider him the instigator or the initiator of this comeback. He played very well, a lot of energy, 17 and 10, 2 blocks and a steal. I'm not doing anything based on this one performance unless Anthony Edwards misses time. If Edwards is unavailable for the next game, Clark, Shannon, you probably have a look at both of them. We will have DiVincenzo back shortly, as will Julius Randle. He'll be returning as well. So that will muddy the waters a little bit. For the Thunder, Jalen Williams was good, apart from that he missed like 4 threes in a row, along with everyone else. Hartenstein, 4 and 5 with a block in only 16 minutes. He left the game with a nose or facial or a nose injury. There hasn't really been an update on what this is. Look, unless it's particularly bad, maybe he misses a game, but players are usually able to play through facial injuries like this. If it's a cheekbone, maybe not. If it's just a nose, yeah, look, throw a mask on him. But again, are they going to push him? So, yeah, look, there could be a missed game or two. They also had no Chet here, obviously. He was out on the second night of a back-to-back. Aaron Wiggins had 19 points off the bench. Caruso had 2 steals and 2 blocks. So, yeah, look, I think we're looking at Caruso as a streamer. Lou Dort, I've never sort of preached him as a must-roster player. I don't think you need to. Same goes for Case and Wallace. Unless Hartenstein is out. If Hartenstein misses a bit of time, then Case and Wallace probably moves back into consideration as a rosterable player, as would Aaron Wiggins. They played Caruso a lot down the stretch in this one. They obviously like his defense, but offensively he's pretty limited. So he can be streamed as well. And that's it. No, that's not it for the game. Sorry, I thought it was, but there's one more. Portland and Utah. Portland get the win just 114-112. Let's just check that last game. Oh, okay, no. Charlotte. Fool me, Charlotte. I thought they were making some sort of a comeback. They are obviously not. Let's do this one first. Portland, as I said, 2-point winners over Utah. Klingen, another good opportunity for him here with no Rob Williams, with no DeAndre Ayton. And he played 25 minutes, 12 rebounds, 2 blocks. As I've said, he's pretty limited. His offensive game is basically non-existent usually. He's really just rebounds and blocks. That's it. Tamani Kamara, unsurprisingly, was not able to shoot the ball as well as he has been. But 8 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal and a block. That still gets it done. Simon's had a nice game. He's very up and down at the moment. Scoot had 30 minutes off the bench, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists and a steal. So good to see him playing heavy minutes again. Shaden Sharp, speaking of inconsistent, 18 minutes, 12 points. We're still stashing or rostering Henderson. Sharp, probably. I'd rather Henderson over Sharp. Klingen, we've said if you need rebounds and blocks, he's fine to hold on to. And then, Jabari Walker, Banton, these guys, we might get a point where they are players to look at, but we aren't there yet. For Utah, there was no Walker Kessler, no Larry Markkinen, no Jordan Clarkson. So we got Filipowski starting at center, 20 and 11, 2 steals, 1 block. He's one of my sort of favorite stash guys at the moment, but a little bit like Day'Ron Sharp, he's doing just enough. But unlike Day'Ron Sharp, he is getting spot starts when Kessler is out. So I like Filipowski. Sensabaugh had 23 points in his 26 minutes. I think we'll get a period of him being valuable as well. Collier, just a bad night for him. 6 points, 4 assists, 24 minutes. I'm not too worried about that. Keontae George shot the ball poorly, but ended with 21, 5 and 5. 2 steals. Perfect from the line tonight. So that was good. After going 4 of 8 yesterday and costing me my free throws, he goes 5 of 5 tonight. And look, KJ Martin played a bit more, Johnny Juzang, but once we get Markkinen and Kessler back, as well as Clarkson, their minutes, they're fine to stream on nights like this, but you can't really roster them with any confidence. And I will just check this last game to see if anything... Oh, where are we? Oh, here we go. So I'm just reading this off my screen. And no, nothing has really changed. LaMelo Ball looks, I don't know, spent. Spent's not the right word because he wouldn't be spent. He hasn't played much. 13 points, 9 assists, 3 of 13 from the field. This Charlotte organisation is just pretty embarrassing. Nurkic, look, I mean, a good game tonight. 12 and 9, 3 assists, 3 steals, 1 block. But Mark Williams will return tomorrow, which means Nurkic will go back to the bench. Actually, you know what? I'm going to bring this over here so I'm not just talking to myself. Here we go. Can we see that on the screen? We can indeed. LaMelo Ball will probably sit tomorrow because it will be a back-to-back, so expect him not to play, which means we'll get a little bit more Elfrid Payton, Damian Boff. Is it Boff? I think it's Boff. I don't know. It looks like Boff. Or Bohr. No, it's probably Boff. Nick Smith, he's doing enough just to be rostered. Miles Bridges is playing quite well at the moment. Diabate had 12 and 4, or has 12 and 4. But with Williams coming back tomorrow, there's no point holding on to him. For the Kings, they threatened a change to the starting lineup. We didn't get it. Sabonis, pretty quiet tonight, 7, 10, and 7. It was Zach LaVine. He was just very aggressive from the outset, 42 points. He's probably, he's not on at the moment, so that's him done for the night. Keegan Murray had 10 points, don't need to be rostering him. Monk shot the ball sort of poorly here, but 10 assists, a steal, 2 blocks, 13 points is better. Keon Ellis injured his knee. I need to check that now. Where are we? Ankle. That's right, ankle. So only 9 minutes. Not a must-roster player anyway. Markelle Fultz. Look, numbers aren't great. He's certainly helping this team. 5 points, 4 rebounds, 1 steal, 15 minutes. I I think he's going to impact Keon Ellis a little bit, Malik Monk a little bit, not to the point where Monk will be a drop or anything like that. He'll still be fine. But yeah, he is quite clearly their best point guard or pure point guard. So they're going to need him at times. Against a team like Charlotte, you really don't. But it's good to see him out there. I'm a Fultz fan. People that follow me know that. All right, I'm going to do the questions very quickly. Where are we? Oh, this is a long one. 10 team, 17 roster spots. If my players come back and I want 3 streaming spots for the playoffs, I need to drop 6 of these players. So what, 10 teams, 1,770. Simmons and Bowl for sure, yes. Middleton, drop him. Pirtle, I wouldn't drop. He's questionable. I think he's getting pretty close. Suggs, you can maybe drop him because we've really got no update on what's happening there. Klingon, very specific. Christie, I would hold. Pajemski, I would hold. Hayes, I'm okay with dropping him. There's a few names. Chad, my worry level on Dort and Wallace. Well, Dort, I don't think you have to roster anyway. Wallace, yeah, if we get an injury or missed games for Hartenstein here, I think Wallace is a consideration. But he's been very borderline all season anyway, so I don't think you need to hold either of those guys, really. Is Westbrook in the Keon Ellis zone now? Well, he's not someone you have to hold, I don't think. I thought he would be, but they've sort of gone away from him a bit. Aaron Gordon's playing very well. So, yeah, I don't think you need to be holding Westbrook. Killian Hayes, the punt percentage god. He is good at punting percentages. Dante is set to practice on Wednesday. How would I order these guys rest of season? Dante, Kamara, Scoot. I'd probably go Kamara, Dante, Scoot, I think. Do I think Jalen Smith is done for the fantasy season? No, I don't think so. He's only out with a concussion. So, yeah, I don't think so. Both Klingon and Ware played 25 minutes. Who would I rather have rest of season? I'd rather have Klingon if you're just looking at safety, because I mean, Ayton could be done. Ware, I think, has a little bit more upside. Yeah, look, they're pretty similar, but yeah, it's probably Klingon just. Question from Carl. Who would I consider most droppable between Ayton, Bassi, Io, and Dayron? Waiver wire is dry, but worried I might be holding on to guys that won't be playing. Who's most droppable? Well, Ayton obviously isn't playing at this stage. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay dropping Ayton. But Dayron is at least playing and giving you something. So in a deeper league, which you probably are if the waiver wire is that dry, I'd probably hold Dayron sharp. I'd be okay dropping Ayton. Bassi. Yeah, Bassi's hard. We don't know. He's out tomorrow. So we don't know how long he's out for. Could be a game, could be 2 weeks. Upside is there, opportunities there, but whether they're going to give that to him, I don't know. Io Dosunmu, he's been out for a while. I think he's out for another 2 or 3 games. I don't know. It's probably Ayton, Bassi, Io, Dayron in that order. Do we see why Aaron Gordon has only 23 minutes tonight? No, I didn't watch a ton of the Denver game. Where are we? Where's Denver? Here we go. I only saw the highlights of this one. Gordon, look, he had 4 fouls. Potentially he was in some early foul trouble. We know that what coaches do. So that could have been why. They probably just played Zeke Nagy a little bit more. So I would say it was probably foul trouble. What else have we got? How is Messi in a punt, free throw and threes team? Reckon he's better than Sarr. Well, he's playing. He's no worse, I don't think. So, yeah, I'm okay with that. Dayron Sharp or Drummond? Well, let's see what happens with Yabusele, I suppose. Drummond's really one category. He's rebounds only. Sharp does a bit more, so I'd probably still go with Dayron Sharp. Edwards seemed comfortable in the post-game interview. Okay, he might be. I just noticed him limping in a video that I saw. But, yeah, we'll see. We know he generally plays through things. Are we streaming Jay Will if Hartenstein and Chet are out? Yeah, look, we could, but I don't think Chet will be. I think this was just a back-to-back situation. So you could give him a look. But with Chet there, you have to remember Jalen Williams had value when both Hartenstein and Chet were out because they just had no one else. If Chet's there, they'll just play him and then they'll play maybe a bit of Jalen Williams, but they will also play Kenrich Williams or J-Dub. They have options. All right, one last one from Joseph. Usually really strong with blocks and rebounds, but my centers are going down. Tell me about it. Gobert, Mark Williams, Kessler, AD. Yeah, I have all 4 of those guys in the team. Should I try to salvage those cats and hope for the best or switch it up? No, look, I mean, Gobert has been out with back spasms. It doesn't sound like it's serious. Mark Williams, he's just sitting back-to-backs. So just have a look at the schedule. Kessler, again, back-to-backs. Anthony Davis, obviously, he's a big loss. I think you'll probably be okay. It was just a bit of a coincidence that they were all out tonight. So I think it's okay. And that will do. I'm off. Pre-game shows, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do them anymore. Just with working from home and trying to do a bit around the house. And I mean, I think they're beneficial, but they're pretty limited in their sort of lifespan, I suppose. They're only valuable for an hour. So just in terms of, recording them, I don't know, maybe I'll just record like a 10-minute kind of thing where it's just quickly going through streaming options for the night. But again, I could just do something like that on Twitter. So I'll play around with it. Post-game shows will continue to come. I think Dan and I are recording a show tomorrow. I have no idea what we're talking about, but we're doing a show. So they will keep coming. Mailbag on Thursday with Josh will be happening. So it's just those pre-game shows. I'm not sure, whether they'll continue on. Yeah. I'll have a look. I'll let people know. But that will do for today. Please go and download and like and thumb and do all that stuff. And enjoy whatever's left of your day or night or wherever you are. I'm Adam King. This has been the Balls Deep post-game show. Until next time, catch ya.
You just listened to another episode from the Fantasy Basketball International Podcast Network. Thanks for joining us. And for more information about joining our community, please check out our website at FBI